Well, I mean, it's the hand we're dealt, right? So in this day and age, we found out in this world that there's a lot that's beyond our control. So, I mean, the ideal world, we would have loved to go on to DePaul and to play on December 20th and have a bounce in our step, but we've had to kind of recalibrate with everything that's going on. And the guys got to spend a few extra days home for Christmas, which was a positive. I think mentally that's good for everybody involved. But now we got some work to do to get some of that timing back.
What did you ask them of them on the break, and had they done it when they came back?
Yeah, I mean, we practiced yesterday for the first time, and we weren't in great shape. We were pretty rusty, but it just wouldn't have been right to bring the guys back on Christmas Day and only to tell them we're not playing on the 28th and we're going to practice for 8 straight days. And the reality of it, we would have taken a day or two off in there somewhere anyway. So spending that extra time with their family, hopefully, what that does for them mentally, can trump what maybe we lost a little bit from a physical standpoint.
Bigger concern, chemistry or them being in shape?
I mean, I think it's timing. I mean, we'll get them back in shape. We have 5 practices before we play Marquette, so that part. And most of these guys live in the gym anyway when they're home. So it's just a matter of getting that timing back and getting some of the feel back of going up and down. It's a long break in the middle of the season.
The schedule, like this year, isn't really formatted for makeups, right? Like it was last year intentionally. Like how much of a concern is getting games in this year maybe than it was last year?
Yeah, I mean, we're not done with cancellations, so I mean, we got to play whenever we can play, and so far we haven't heard anything from the league in terms of when those games are going to be played. Difference from last year to this year. Last year, kind of both schools kind of got together, talked back and forth, and somebody didn't like it, it didn't happen. This year, whatever the league says goes, and obviously there's probably going to be one of the 2 teams that isn't real happy, whether they're coming off of a game where it's a short prep, or hitting a team that's coming off a 4 or 5 day break. So we're just going to have to do the best we can to play games, and obviously it's not going to be fair and equitable. I think everybody knows that.
Is the expectation that the schedules just get changed? Like you're just going to lose your guys? You're just going to put games in?
Well, I mean, not necessarily the buys, because we'd have only one team has a bye at a time in an 11-team league, so you can't just plug us in there, because we have to work around DePaul and Georgetown schedules, and there's some parameters of not playing more than 3 times a week, back-to-back weeks, and you got to keep student athlete welfare at the forefront as well. You don't want these guys playing 8 games in a 2-week period. That would be ridiculous. So we have to balance that, and that's something that the league's looking at. But already they have 7 out of 12 games are postponed. So it's a big jigsaw puzzle that they have to put together, and certainly facility availability and everything that goes with that factors into it as well.
I guess I just wonder if you're concerned at all about just maintaining the gap. The Big East is such a grind. Every game takes so much out of your team. Having to do that 3 times a week seems pretty daunting without much.
Yeah, but I mean, if we weren't playing, we're practicing, and those guys would much rather be playing a game than be stuck in this gym with me. So, that's the reality. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be equitable for anybody. I'll be shocked if we get to 20 games the way this variant seems to be, storming across the country. So you just got to make the most of the games you can play, and appreciate the fact that you get to play, because it wasn't that long ago we had our season canceled. So, this is it's not ideal, but we'll do the best we can and figure out. And when they tell us we're going to play, we'll play.
I don't know if you know this or not, but there's blockers from scheduling with some flexibility, right? Because you have to have 20 league games, only 11 non-con. Would the Big East be open to allowing you guys to find a non-con opponent and not making that 31 as much of a hard vote?
Well, it isn't a Big East rule. It's an NCAA rule in terms of number of games. I mean, the only way we could do that is if they say we can't find a date for DePaul, so that game is a no contest. Now we have the flexibility to add a game. But and obviously we're getting calls every day, because there's a lot of teams that are in the same boat as us. So I think finding opponents isn't going to be a problem, but we want to do whatever we can. Jeremy, go ahead when you're ready. We want to go ahead and play as many league games as we can, and I think that's the goal, at least at this point in the process.
We just talked to Art, and he was talking about having this stretch of time to kind of reassess a little bit, work on some of the things. He was like, look, you think you're ready, you're not ready. There's a lot of things you got to learn as a freshman. He had a chance to sort of address that. What is kind of your message to him? It seems like he's gaining more confidence game to game, but I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I just think when you're struggling shooting it a little bit, just keep it simple. Try to go get yourself an easy one somewhere, whether it's on the offensive glass or attacking the rim or getting to the free throw line, and then continue to do his routine. Because as I've said many times, he shot the ball really well in practice. So at some point, that's gonna carry over, and he's just got to stay with it. But impact the game in other ways, and obviously it's a learning curve. It is for all of our freshmen. Some it's more difficult than others, but he's done a lot of good things, and I think there's a lot of good things to come in the future.
We're talking about this week. Can you get into a normal routine as far as kept cramps and all of that? You got to add some extra stuff in there.
Yeah, we're going to get up and down a little bit more with some referees today, just to get accustomed to that, and then we'll shorten things up a little bit tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll begin our normal two-day game prep, which is usually what you have for a league game. So Thursday, Friday will be what we would normally do leading into a game. Obviously, yesterday, today, and tomorrow we'll spend a lot of time on ourselves.
When we talked to Ryan Colton earlier, he said the biggest change in this game was positive self-talk. How have you seen that play out for him, for the bench?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been hard on himself, and that's not necessarily a bad attribute. That I think it shows you care. But he would allow the fact that he cared so much to impact the next play. And that's what we've tried to work through. Like, you can be hard on yourself, you can be disappointed, but you also have a responsibility to execute the next play. And I think he's really worked on that and gotten better at that. Along with that, he's gotten in better condition and is more accustomed to playing in our system. And it's allowed him to play longer stretches of time and be really effective during that time. No, I think he's supposed to see a doctor later today. So obviously, he hasn't done anything since the Iowa State game. If he does come back, it's certainly a long process to ramp him back up because it's been almost a month.
Anything else?
I mean, it is a little bit of rust when we get back, but yeah, you don't forget.
Does it kind of feel a little bit like deja vu to last season with all these games getting canceled or paused or postponed or whatever you want to call them?
Actually, last year we got really lucky. We didn't have any games canceled outside of that first tournament, but no, it's definitely weird. You're mentally preparing for a game, and all of a sudden they tell you don't have one, and just got to roll with it.
As a player, how do you stay sharp without having actual games?
That's just, you got to take every practice rep as a game rep, I would say. Just like when we're in these practices here, treat it like a game. That's the only way to do it, I think.
Is it more worry as a team? Because, you can stay sharp, you can stay. What happens out there as a team is a little bit tougher to get.
Yeah, because you need all 5 guys on the court staying ready. And, like, you have breaks like this, I'm not going to necessarily blame someone for being a little rusty, but you definitely need everyone on the team to be on the same page.
Hey, where do you think your confidence is right now compared to maybe where it was start of the season?
Way, way better. Like, oh my God. I think about that sometimes, just my mindset right now, just so much better, so much more positive self-talk and all that. It's crazy how much better it's gotten.
Do you remember at what point it flipped? You probably talked about it a lot, right? Like, do you remember when you started to feel pretty good about what you were doing?
I don't think there was like one moment where it flipped. I think there was just like, there was a point where I was like, I'm feeling a little better. And then 2 weeks later, I'm feeling a little better. And then feeling a little better. I just gradually got better at it.
How does that, like, this is probably a silly question, but how does, that belief, that confidence bleed into just what you have to do on the court? Like, allowing you to use your skills, like, to make plays like in the blink of an eye, like
Yeah.
you're confident you can make it.
I think it just makes the game more fun, and when you're playing fun and relaxed, just everything comes more natural. You're not thinking about it as much. You just do things just because you're playing a game.
You mentioned positive self-talk.
Yeah.
I'm sure all you athletes deal with this in some way.
Yeah.
How have you tried to alter sort of what you're telling yourself, or just trying to refocus yourself? How do you kind of take us through that process between plays and stuff?
I think some of it was just our coaches catching me in the moment. I think Jalen's helped me a lot with this. He'll catch me when you can see me doing it, and he'll come over to me and say, "No, stop that," or something like that. But it's just,
Just kind of like reacting negatively.
yeah, yeah. So then, like, the more he's done that to me, the more I've been able to catch myself doing it, and then just stop with the negative self-talk, and then all of a sudden it turned into positive self-talk.
I think some of that just kind of led to more block shots than fouls, as the last year some of those fouls you're not committing.
I think that's for a block shot specifically, just me getting used to the pace, being more in shape and all that. Some of the times I get a foul because I'm tired or a step late, and this year I'm there where I'm supposed to be. Because it's also like I know the system now, know where I'm supposed to be. So those blocks where I get them because I'm in the right spot, it's just a year of experience getting me that block.
What do you like better, a big dunk or a big block?
I like a big block. I'm the defensive sort of guy, so I'll take the big block.
What's can you take me like can you slow down on a sequence where like the guard is coming at you at the rim? Like do you ever catch yourself thinking what are you doing, man? Or like how do you approach that type of play? Because people have tried to challenge you this year.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone well statistically, but they've tried.
So the plays were like they go off 1 foot and you can start to see them take 1 step, 2 step. They're kind of stuck at that point. So that's when I'm like, I'm about to get a block. Because, they got nowhere to go. They've already committed to jumping, and it's easy.
Your own coaches and teammates and opposing coaches and teammates have talked about just how smart you seem to be in your approach to defending the interior of your defense. What does the game look like to you when all those moving parts are coming at you?
I don't know. That's just something I've always just kind of naturally been good at. So, I don't know how to describe it. It's just always what I've done. So it's just normal to me, I guess, to see it the way I see it.
Is there something in training, maybe at a younger age, where like the type of shot blocker you are seems to be a little bit rare or a little bit old school? Like you don't leave your feet unless it's time to leave your feet. Like you use your length as much as possible. Like
Yeah.
was that trained in you at all, or is that just something you just did because that's you?
I'd have to say my high school coach was not afraid to take me out of the game if I was leaving my feet. Even if we were being a worse team without me on the floor, he'd take me out anyway just to teach me that lesson. So I learned real quick to do that. Otherwise, I was riding the bench.
That doesn't like people leaving their feet either. Does that translate here?
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Last one. What was the message when you guys got back? What did he tell you back on Sunday?
Basically, we just gotta get our conditioning back a little bit. He wasn't gonna kill us the first day. We have 5 days to get ready, so we're gonna just be focused and getting conditioning back and getting the rust off. Getting some shots up on our own, getting the touch back and all that. Just pretty generic. So
Ryan, any New Year's resolutions?
no, I don't got any.
Win.
Thanks, Ryan. Season without a game?
Nah, high school senior year when one of our teammates had COVID. We were out for like 2 weeks, so it's definitely a time. I don't think that any of us have really been through this, except for the team last year that actually went through the COVID stage and everything like that. But I feel like we're adjusting well. We're still in the gym. We're just working through it.
How do you stay sharp? Maybe not just physically, but mentally. Keeping that up.
Yeah, a lot of film work, seeing who we might play against, who we will definitely play against. Just staying focused and coming in the lab every day with a will to get better.
Has this stretch allowed you to sort of reassess what maybe I should ask about this. What have you learned about 12 games into your college career?
Yeah.
What sticks out about the lessons that you've learned so far about adjusting to this level?
You may think that you're ready for the most part, but then again, until you get to this level, you're not really going to be prepared for it. So I feel like after my first 12 games, like, man, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I needed to work on. So having this time to being able to work on the stuff that I need to work on is really key for me. It's important.
It did seem like you were. I mean, you had a big stretch late against Arizona State, against Villanova. You drove a couple times early. It seems like you're finding some confidence. Is that true? Like, do you feel like you're figuring some things out or gaining some, getting comfortable out there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, confidence is it's a major thing when you play in basketball. I feel like I never really lacked it. It was just placing my confidence. So knowing where I got to go, knowing how to get to my spots, that's a major point for me.
What do you feel like is happening with the team as a whole? Is a bunch of guys that haven't really played a whole lot of basketball together trying to figure out where they fit on the chessboard when it comes to everything, right?
Well, I mean,
Either not clunking up spacing or driving into each other, that kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, that's all just team chemistry. I feel like that's stuff that we work on in practice every single day. I mean, the coaches are really good about spacing and how they want us to be on the court. So I feel like we're just working through it as we go.
It seems like the last few games, it's like you guys are creating better offense. Whether the shots are going in or not that's out of your control.
Yeah.
The spacing part of it seems to be better. Do you feel like it's starting to come together in terms of?
It's definitely starting to come together. Yeah, it's coming together. I mean, we're working on it every day. I'd be mad if it wasn't coming together. But it's getting there. You can see it piece by piece, especially in that Villanova game. Like, that's where we need to be at. It can't just be a one-game thing.
You said you watch this for film. You spend any time with teammates during their off days, or is it just you, or how did you approach that?
Well, I mean, yeah, we get together sometimes. Me and Ryan and Trey will come back and get into the gym. John Christopoulos is always already going to be there for the most part. We always come in. We try to get extra work with each other. We talk to each other what we could build on, what we could work on. That's why I really like this team. I feel like we really come together as a family for the most part.
What do you need to do in the next few days before you hit the road to make sure that chemistry is there, that the wheels are turning together?
Work off the Christmas food. Just stay in the gym, get better, listen to what our coaches have to say. Rest for the most part. I mean, because when we take, as we get this time, it's we really want to work ourselves to, the max, because this is the only time that we get, in between games. But the most important part about that is also balancing it with rest. So I feel like we're going to be good.
Sorry. Had quite a few violent dunks this year. When you go up to dunk, you just trying to rip off the rim?
Every single time, yeah, that's the goal. I mean, if I could break a backboard, that would be the best part. I'd definitely take that home with me. But
where does that come from, Art? Just the nature of kind of being aggressive, not holding back, being bold, playing fearless.
I mean, I just looked up to dogs growing up, watching KG play. Man, that's a dog. He had a different intensity when it came to the game. And I want to, emulate that in, a not so verbally aggressive way. But yeah, for the most part, yeah.
His approach to it.
His approach to the game is amazing, yeah.
Two more for him. When you guys don't play for, coming off that big win against Villanova, is it kind of frustrating that you can't build on that momentum?
Yeah.
You lose that by not playing for
Well,
2 weeks?
I wouldn't say that we lose it. I mean, the main goal, this is a challenge for us, is maintaining. And I feel like we're maintaining fine. I mean, we just got back. This is our second practice back. Guys are in here working already. I mean, we getting prepared for it.
Yeah, I got one. How long did it take to build trust in the coaching staff of putting you guys in the right spots and trying to? So I imagine that's a process in itself. Let alone how to play with each other.
Well, I mean, honestly, when you come to a college, per se, especially an esteemed one, and especially being coached by Coach McDermott, I don't think it's not lack of trust. It's just lack of breaking old habits. So after that, after you break your old habits and you really buy into what he has to say and what the coaching staff has to say, sky's the limit.
Thanks.